Have you ever wondered why some emotional wounds never truly go away, even after years have passed? Why do we find ourselves haunted by the same people, the same mistakes, and the same regrets, as if our minds are stuck in a loop? What if the real cause of our pain isn't what happened to us, but how we continue to hold on to it? Why do certain wounds linger like shadows, no matter how far we travel from the moment they were made? Why do some memories tighten around our hearts like invisible chains, pulling us back to the same suffering again and again? The truth might surprise you. It's not about what happened. It's about how we relate to what happened. Carl Jung believed that emotional pain doesn't come from the event itself, but from our resistance to the pain it caused. That resistance becomes a quiet tormentor, a hidden engine, and it fuels a cycle we don't even realize we're stuck in. We try to move on. We distract ourselves. We pretend time will erase the scars. But instead, we end up reliving the same heartbreak, the same shame, the same silence. If this feels familiar, stay close. Because today we're diving into a powerful spiritual principle, one that can finally break this loop. If you've grown tired of carrying the same emotional weight, this might be the moment your healing truly begins. Because once you understand the real source of your suffering, you'll realize that freedom has never been out there. It was always inside you, quietly waiting beneath your resistance. True transformation doesn't begin with changing your external life. It starts with shifting how you see your life. That's where the journey begins. Before we go deeper, don't forget to subscribe to the Daily Stoic and join our Telegram community, a space where we share early access to deep content on healing, hidden truths, and personal awakening. Now let's explore the root of suffering. What if the pain you're feeling isn't the true problem? According to Jung, suffering doesn't come from the pain itself. It comes from your refusal to feel it. From the moment something painful happens, a betrayal, a loss, a failure, we experience the raw sting of reality. But what turns that pain into long-term suffering is the mind's desperate resistance. This shouldn't have happened. I don't deserve this. I'll never recover. These thoughts might feel justified, even noble, but they don't ease the pain. They amplify it. They layer more anguish on top of what you already carry. This is what resistance does. It creates a looping storm of energy in your mind. You're caught in an invisible war, a fight against reality itself, and as long as that war continues, healing remains impossible. Here's the paradox. The first step toward freedom is surrender, not surrendering to defeat, but surrendering to what is, to the truth that it already happened. Acceptance doesn't mean saying it was okay. It means ending the exhausting argument in your head, the one that keeps rewriting the past like a broken record. Once we see how resistance feeds our suffering, the next question is, why do we keep revisiting the same wounds? This is where the unconscious mind steps in. Jung taught that many of our emotional experiences are not chosen by the conscious self, they're replayed by the unconscious. Traumas from childhood or earlier life become silent blueprints that our inner world keeps following again and again. If you were abandoned, humiliated, or ignored as a child, your psyche might have registered that experience as normal, even though it was deeply painful. And as adults, we unconsciously recreate these dynamics, choosing relationships that confirm old beliefs. I'm not worthy. Everyone leaves. Love equals pain. This isn't because we want to suffer. It's because the unconscious mind craves coherence. It prefers the familiar, even if it hurts, over peace that feels foreign. Until we shine a light on these buried patterns, they will quietly direct our lives, shaping our choices, our relationships, our sense of self. Becoming aware of this isn't just emotional work, it's a spiritual breakthrough. And from here, we take the next step, As we explored earlier, suffering doesn't come from what happens, but from how we resist what has already happened. But to truly step out of that cycle, we must go even deeper, to confront a force that silently keeps us stuck: the ego. You're not just healing for yourself. You might be breaking a cycle of pain that has been passed down through generations. Understanding your unconscious patterns is a powerful breakthrough. But to break the endless loop of emotional pain, we must now uncover another hidden layer: the role of the ego in keeping us trapped. The ego feeds on pain. It clings to it as if it were nourishment. Why? Because pain gives the ego something it craves, a story to hold on to. I am the one who was hurt. I'm always the one who gets betrayed. These stories, though painful, shape our sense of self. And the ego fights to protect those identities, even if it means we keep suffering. That's why it's so hard to release resentment, to forgive, or to stop replaying what someone did to us. The ego whispers that holding on to pain is strength, but in truth, it's a beautiful cage. The ego is only a small fragment of who you are. Beneath it lies the self, a vast, integrated version of you capable of deep healing and transformation. But healing threatens the ego's control. That's why it resists. To weaken its grip, you must stop feeding it your energy. Don't rehearse your pain like a well-practiced play. Step back into the role of the observer. Notice the ego's voice for what it truly is: not truth, but habit. This single shift in perspective is the beginning of real freedom. But even after you start seeing the ego clearly, another essential step remains. It's the part where you stop running and start turning inward. Before we move on, if you found value in this message, please share it with someone who might benefit. And if you'd like to support this healing journey with us, you can leave a donation by clicking the thanks button below this video. Every bit of support means the world to us. We're often told, don't be weak, be strong, get over it, move on. But the truth no one talks about is this: unprocessed pain doesn't vanish, it just turns into shadow. Carl Jung called this the shadow self, the part of our unconscious that stores what we suppress. What we push down doesn't disappear. It sinks beneath the surface and begins shaping our lives from the dark. Have you ever found yourself anxious for no reason? Easily irritated? Addicted to distractions? Sabotaging things that matter to you? That may be suppressed emotion leaking through the cracks. It distorts how we see the world and erupts when we least expect it. Healing begins when we stop running and start sitting with the pain, not to drown in it, but to witness it with presence and compassion. Try saying, yes, I feel this, without judgment, without rushing. That's when energy starts to shift. Pain, when met with curiosity instead of fear, begins to soften. It doesn't want to destroy you. It wants to be integrated. Anxiety, insomnia, fatigue. Sometimes they don't come from the body, but from ignored pain inside you, calling for attention. The key isn't escape, it's awareness. Presence is the path home. If you've made it this far, you're no longer just surviving, you're transforming. And that's what Jung called the alchemy of the soul. The most emotionally intelligent, compassionate people you know didn't avoid pain. They transmuted it. They let it shape their values, deepen their empathy, and awaken their inner purpose. Your pain holds a message, not just about what happened, but about who you're meant to become. Every wound is a mirror. Every heartbreak is an invitation. The question is no longer, how do I get over this? But what is this here to teach me? When you stop trying to erase your past and instead begin mining it for wisdom, you stop being a victim and become an inner alchemist. And that's what integration means. Not forgetting, but weaving your experience into a wiser, stronger, more luminous self. You are not your pain. You are the one who transforms it into light. Carl Jung dedicated his life to revealing one key spiritual truth. Suffering is not caused by pain itself. It's caused by resisting pain. When you face it, accept it, and let it move through you, pain stops being a prison. It becomes your evolution. And now you're standing at a crossroads. You can keep repeating unconscious patterns, or you can awaken, take responsibility, and rewrite your inner story. If you're ready to reclaim your power and turn your pain into purpose, comment below. I transform my pain into power. And if this video helped you, hit subscribe to join the Daily Stoic, your daily space for healing, spiritual growth, and deep psychological truth. Because your pain was never the end of your story. It was the beginning of your transformation.